IVC, Dale Gateful 33 here. So this video is a video where last weekend I was put in touch with a couple who live locally, sort of an elderly couple who live locally, who are moving, downsizing, and they had a lot of records. So I went round to see them, and I was, with the intention of looking through, seeing if there's anything that I wanted, and then offering some money for it if I did. So they had about 200 records, and there was very little there. It was what I expected to find was what was there. So there was a lot of, and at the beginning of this video, hopefully I'll put a picture in of some of the stuff that I'm getting rid of. So of the 200 records I went through, there are about 5 that I would have taken, and probably a couple of them just to put in my car boot sale box, and a couple, but yeah, the others 2 looked interesting. That was all, and the others were kind of whatever. So I kind of said that to them, and what I also said to them, the main reason I went around as well was I said I'd have a look through and let them know how best to get rid of their records. And actually my advice to them was even charity shops probably wouldn't take them, and actually they're probably, the recycling centre is the place, unfortunately. And they looked a bit downcast, and I think they wanted me to kind of take the lot. So kind of we got talking, and I said, do you know what, I'll take them if you want, because I don't think, they were an elderly couple. At the moment you have to book slots in recycling centres, and I don't think they were anticipating that, because there were a lot of their other stuff I think they were going to put into an auction, but I said you can put it into an auction if you want. So anyway, they said please take them, so I took the lot basically. But of the 200 records, nearly 200 I will now be taken to the recycling centre. So however, what this video is about is, when you're buying records, then you set your you set your level of what you would pay for. When you're given records, I think it's still quite exciting. So although I'd gone through the records and flicked through them, I thought nah. When I got home, I brought the 200 records in and started to go through them, and thought, well, I'd give that a listen. I wouldn't buy it, but for free, hey, what the hell? And so what I've got here is not a big pile by any stretch, but some records that actually I may keep hold of. Still may not, but I may keep hold of. So because they were free. So and these days, this year with COVID, I've been to one car boot sale, and where I live in Winchester, they've said, actually I thought they were going to reopen at the beginning of September, but they've now said no, actually we're not going to open the car boot sale till next year. So I'll have one car boot sale this year, whereas I normally do manage to get some records from car boot sales. So that's a shame. So anyway, this was a little bit of a bonus I got. So anyway, nothing special, so don't get too excited. Nothing special. And there was a lot of classical in there, but it was a lot of sort of Hallmark and music for pleasure, classical, and even the clean stuff. When I cleaned it up, I don't know what kind of stylus it had, but it was quite crackly, and I tend to get my classical, and I'm not big into classical at all, but what classical I do, I get it on CD, just because of the huge dynamic range shifts. I kind of lose pleasure in listening to it if it's a crackly record. Anyway, get on with it and show some records, Dale. It's 4 minutes and I haven't shown any records yet. So this was one of the things one of the things I'm going to have a listen to. Beethoven 9 Symphony box. This is a Reader's Digest RCA. I do actually, from a similar situation with an elderly couple. I do actually have a Beethoven box on Decca, a nice Decca set. So, but this is a Beethoven stereo, so I may give this a listen. So that's one thing. This on Fontana. So I didn't know Fontana for classical records, but this is a Tchaikovsky, Swan Lake on one side, Sleeping Beauty on the other. This sounded quite nice. So I will keep that in my very small classical vinyl collection. This was interesting. It is a music for pleasure, but it sounded all right. So it's the National Youth Orchestra of Wales doing. Well, they start off with the Welsh National Anthem, and then some Welsh classical, I think. So yeah, this was nice. So that's probably it for the classical. There wasn't much. Oh no, it might be another one there. Yeah, Grieg, Peer Gynt suites, but again, it's a music for pleasure, but it sounded all right. So nothing special. And then this Best of Connie Francis. Again, no intention of buying any Connie Francis. I only knew Who's Sorry Now. But you know, I'll give it a listen. I like that song. That might be okay. Jungle Book. Everyone loves the Jungle Book. It's got the booklet in it still. Nice copy, nice condition. So a bit of fun. Got a granddaughter now. You never know. Might be playing that. Yeah, this. I'm assuming this must have been part of a box because I can't find this on Discog anywhere. Catalogue. It says it's jazz with a British accent, a word from the English jazz. So I think it's US issue. Oh yeah, it says, and I think it's on it's got a hard cover. It is a 12-inch, not a 78. But yeah, it's very, very old traditional sort of jazz. But it's quite interesting. I started listening to it. And, I mean, yeah, I thought, oh, it's an interesting listen. So I will delve further into that. This, The Immortal Lester Young, featuring Count Basie, 1944 to 1949. So yeah, sort of I hope when I kind of get to go around to see sort of elderly, if you like, people getting rid of their records. The hope is that they're not the ones with the, let's say, the budget classical and the Perry Como and all of that. They're the ones that love jazz, and they've got a whole 50s and 60s jazz collection. But unfortunately, that never happens. But there was some jazz in there. Right, another budget release, but the golden hits of Sandy Shaw. So yeah, like a bit of Sandy Shaw. The only one I've got is her sort of Psych covers album is really good, but you know, some Sandy hits for free. Oh, there's another classical. Van Cliburn doing a Beethoven piano concerto. So yeah, thought I'd give that a listen. It sounded quite nice. Already got a copy of this, but I might pass this on to someone because I highly recommend anyone listening to Shirley Bassey's version of Fire. Light My Fire. She does a fantastic version of Light My Fire. Johnny Harris arrangements. So you know, this might be something I pass on to somebody just to kind of say, you know, give that a listen. And even Spinning Wheel on the other side, some Traffic Song is good. This was interesting, but beat up cover, but just sort of interested me. This is called The Gold Record. It's I can't remember. It's from really early 1960. It might even be, but I don't. It's a compilation album, a various artists compilation album, and I just, you know, wasn't familiar that early of the various artists compilation album was a thing, if you see what I mean. So you know, it's got Nat King Cole on it. It's got Tennessee Ernie Ford doing 16 Tons, Peggy Lee doing Manana, K-Star, Wheel of Fortune, Les Bacta tune. Got some Dean Martin. So you know, musically it's a bit interesting, but I probably wouldn't have gone for it. It's just more the concept of a various artists compilation album from 60 years ago potentially. Doesn't say. Does it say when it is? It's a US. I think it's a US release. It's on the green capital label. I can't see a date on it. I did look it up in Discogs at one point, but don't get me started on Discogs at the moment. What they're doing with their postage policy. Oh, right. And a couple of guilty pleasures. Well, one a guilty pleasure and one just made me smile. So yeah. So everyone loves. Well, no, sorry, wrong. I've shown Aphrodite's Child before, and that's got some credibility. Only sort of 3 years later, Demis Roussos was the housewife's favourite crooner, and had zero credibility. But I like his voice from Aphrodite's Child, and I like his voice. My mum liked Demis Roussos, so I heard a lot of Demis Roussos as a child, and I just do like his voice. So yeah, a bit of a guilty pleasure there, was to put that in the collection. I've had it in the collection before, but kind of embarrassingly got rid of it. And then this for Mr. McCook, a Grail. I've got a Grail. Remember You're a Womble. I now have a copy because it was in the box. So that's the stuff that I would have left behind. Of all the stuff I would have left behind, that's the stuff I would have left behind that I maybe now think, okay, up for free, I'll have it. So the 5 records, there were 5 records that I was going to say I was going to give them some money and walk away with. So again, this would have probably gone, this just because it looked like a really clean copy. You know, I've got a copy of this, everyone's got a copy of this, but I thought I'd just, probably if I'd have paid them a quid for it, I would have just given it a listen and seen if it's any better than the one I've got. This is quite interesting. I've recently got a Brenda Lee album. I've got a couple of Brenda Lee albums, and this is a double album of Brenda Lee's greatest hits. So I thought, yeah. Similarly, this probably wouldn't have bought it. Otherwise, this is Status Quo, but 12 Gold Bars 1 and 12 Gold Bars 2. So what have we got? Probably 24 songs that all sound the same. So yeah, you can't go wrong with that. 24 3-chord wonders, no, I do have a soft spot for Status Quo. So I gave myself a big tick for actually starting to know something about records, because I was flicking through all of this stuff, and these 2 records here were the only ones I thought, that looks interesting. One of them is obviously interesting because I knew it, but this one, just because I looked at it and thought, I've never seen that before, no idea who that is. It looks interesting. It looks like a Private Press folky album, and so I just kind of put it and so it's foggy. I don't really know anything about foggy. It just looked like it would be an interesting album, and it is quite a rare folk rock album. I think it's something to do with forgotten now. I think they're associated with the Strawbs, something like that. But yeah. But then when I got home and looked this up, it's quite rare and quite pricey. I played the first track, and it sounds quite interesting. So I'm looking forward to hearing this, to see if it's But yeah, so that was a find. And then so I've said this is another amusing thing. And I had it with I think I've told the story about the Queen's A Night at the Opera, but I was going through the records, and I think I know the answer is that these records must have included records that might belong to the kids. But I was going through it all, and it was all Perry Como, James Last, classical, James Last, Perry Como, that kind of stuff. And then in amongst it all, Kiss Destroyer was in there. Nice UK copy of Kiss Destroyer. Now, I can't stand Kiss, I'll be honest. Sorry, that's too strong. I'm not a fan of Kiss. I don't listen to Kiss, but it was there, so I thought, well, even if I end up flipping it and get my money back for what I pay for the rest, I'll do that. But yeah, who would have thought it, that this was amongst all of those records? But say, you got to go there, you got to dig, you might find something. There's always some gold. Okay, anyway, that's gone on far too long, VC, but that was an interesting Saturday. Had intended to do the garden, ended up working my way through 200 records, trying to work out what on earth they all were. Great. So yeah, take care, VC. Cheers, bye.